This is the Journey M5. Released in 2015, the Journey M5 was one of the best budget devices in the market, and I think it still is at this point. That is why into this video we are going to be reviewing it, checking it. I'm just kidding, guys. We're actually going to be reviewing the TECNO Phantom 9, the new TECNO Phantom 9. We'll look at the camera specifically, the 3-camera setup. We're going to look at the fingerprint, the in-display fingerprint for the first time. And also we're going to check out the design, okay? So stick with me here. Come on, let's do it. So starting off here with the design, it has a glossy finish at the back. It has this kind of like hue gradient thing going on. You know, like the model I have here starts off with this purple. Transcends into the blue and then transcends into sky blue. You know, it's glossy. It feels like a typical 2019 device. Many devices are rocking this kind of feel. We have the Galaxy A50, which I have reviewed on this channel. We have other Samsung devices, even the Galaxy S10, the Mate 20 Pro. You know, all these devices are rocking this kind of design, so it's standard for now. But unlike the Mate 20 Pro or the Galaxy S10 or all these other devices I've mentioned, this one rocks totally plastic, which is fine for a budget device, you know. The problem is the plastic feels very, very cheap and very obvious. And the reason I say this, if you look at the Galaxy A50 or any of the Galaxy A series, fine, they are all plastic, it's plastic, but the plastic is not like this. Like the plastic doesn't feel as cheap as this. The plastic feels pretty solid. The reason I mentioned the A50 against this device is because both of them go for almost the same price. Now, another very disappointing thing here that I must knock my head around is the fact that they had to use a regular USB port on this device. I mean, like, what is going on? We had the USB-C on the previous TECNO Phantom devices, and the USB-Cs are faster when you're transferring data. The USB-C is faster when you are charging. The USB-C is the future. Like most laptops now are transcending into USB-C. You know, like the new Apple, excuse me, the new lineup of Apple laptops that are coming in are all designed with USB-C. You know, so why will they be taking off the USB-C and putting in a regular USB in 2019 when every device is transcending to USB-C? And remember, the TECNO Phantom is like the flagship devices or is like the flagship device of the TECNO brand. So a lot of things are not really what I expected on this device. Even the TECNO Phantom 8 had the USB-C. Another seriously major upgrade on this device also is the display. Now, this thing rocks an AMOLED display, unlike the previous TECNO Phantom 8 that had an IPS display. The display is also a few inches larger than that on the previous Phantom 8, which had a 5.7-inch display, but on this one we have a 6.39 inches display. The Phantom 9 has very slim bezels, like very, very slim. It has an 84% screen-to-body ratio, against that on the Phantom 8, which just had only 70% screen to body ratio. So what you notice here is that this one has an almost all-screen display, just like the Galaxy A50, Galaxy A80, and the rest of those major competition right now. One of the other major upgrades here too, not really an upgrade, but an addition, is the addition of a notch. Now, at least I'm glad that they didn't put in the block style notch. It's just a teardrop notch, just like the Galaxy A50. I'm pretty cool with that, even though you're still going to notice that the device still has a little chin at the bottom, but it's still okay. As I said, I'm really happy and cool with this one because the display pops, the display is sharp. It actually rocks a 2019 feel. So for the first time I saw a TECNO device rocking an in-display fingerprint, I was really curious about what those fingerprint scanners can do or how it works. So when I picked up the device, the first thing I did was run to the settings, to the security settings, put in my very secure pattern there. As I keep saying, if you've not tried it, please try it. I put it again for the second time as requested. And then when you I hit the next button, and as soon as I was ready to start enrolling my fingerprints, I had like this quick pop-up of the do's and don'ts of an in-display fingerprint. The first one, they said that you should avoid the environment with strong light. Then the second option says you keep the screen clean and tidy. Then thirdly, it says you should apply the officially certified film. That is for those of you that will be putting screen guards and stuff like that. If you put in a wrong screen guard on this device, two things are going to happen. It's either the fingerprint reader will not work, or it's going to be super slow. I remember when I bought the Galaxy S10, one of the biggest problem I had was finding a matchable screen protector or screen guard, because everyone I put had an issue with the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor did not work. So you gotta keep that in mind if you're gonna buy this phone. So as soon as I finished reading the options there, I was on my way, started enrolling my fingerprint. Feels a bit slow, not like really like that on the Galaxy S10. This is an optical fingerprint sensor, just like it is on the Galaxy A series. So they are not really as fast as the ones on the optical ones on the higher devices. After a few minutes of trying to have it to register my finger, I was ready to go. So I was ready to put it to the test. And then I started putting my finger on the phone, seeing how fast it unlocks. Probably takes about a second, which is pretty standard for an optical fingerprint sensor. I showed you guys the same thing on the Galaxy A50 video. These ones don't really register that fast. So once you put your finger, sometimes it fails, as you can see here. You put it, and then you have to hold on, or you must go and hit the power button for the device to wake up, and you lock it back before the fingerprint sign will appear on the screen. Remember, I told you guys earlier on that these things are still in the beta phases, so they are not going to be so good right now. It's maybe when we start having a second generation and a third generation that we're going to be having exceptionally good in-display fingerprint readers. So straight out of the box, you're getting Android 9 Pie, which is pretty standard. And then you have a 12 nanometer Helio P25 processor. You have an octa-core 1.8 gigahertz CPU. The base model starts at 60 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes internal storage. Then it has a dedicated slot for SD card, which you can expand up to 1 terabyte. The battery is not really impressive. We're getting 3,500 milliamp hour battery, but it would have been better if we had a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. But as I usually say, you can't get it all in one place, right? You win some, you lose some. Another very major upgrade here is in the camera department. So we have triple camera setup here on this device right now, and then we have a ring light under those 3 cameras, which is pretty standard. If this device had come with maybe 2 cameras, I would have had an issue with it. Firstly, we have a 16 megapixel main lens, and then the second one is a 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and then we have a 2 megapixel depth sensor. We have a 32 megapixel selfie camera in front, and both front and back cameras can shoot 1080p videos at 30 frames per second. The basic problem with these cameras was that when you shoot an image, the colors are just super off timing. The colors are off tone. The colors are blown out. They are super washed. Like, I wore an orange shirt, took pictures, and I almost could not recognize the orange shirt I was wearing. I took selfies, the same thing. I took pictures of people, took pictures of flowers, pictures of things, and all we notice is that the pictures are off colors. The colors are just, I don't know how to put it, but I think you should see for yourself. The ultra wide angle lens, they call ultra wide angle, doesn't really go that ultra wide. It just goes a little bit wide, but not ultra wide as they put it. Now, this is an example of what an ultra wide angle lens look like. Check out this image. I shot this image with the Galaxy A50 standing at the same position. So shot the same image with the TECNO Phantom 9 standing at the same position, and this is the result I get. So I tried to shoot a video standing on another building, tried to zoom in on another one. Once I zoomed in, the footage became pretty shaky, and that tells you that the cameras don't have optical image stabilization. So if you zoom into a particular point, then you're on your own. Overall, the device meets 2019 standard in terms of design and some other stuff, but some things are off there which I mentioned, like for instance not having a USB-C, having a regular USB, which in previous devices we've had USB-C, or in previous Phantom devices we've had USB-C. So am I advising you to buy this device? Well, it depends on you. It depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what makes you feel good. Some people don't really care more about the camera, while some care about the cameras. Some care more about the display. Some care more about a couple of other things. Different strokes for different folks. So if you want to buy this device, please watch this video again thoroughly. Look at all the things I mentioned. Check which ones are off, and then check which ones really matter most to you. If you can't find them on this device, then you move forward to the next one and pick it up, okay? As always, my name is Kingsley. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram at tech_overwatch, okay? So don't forget to follow me up there. And if you have a question about this device, or you have anything I didn't mention, I didn't mention, and you want me to talk about it, please leave it up down there in the description. Who knows, I might still consider making another video on this thing if you guys are interested. Okay, as always, see you again next time.